Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the podcast. I'm Jadene A. Richards, and today I am joined by our very own Don Charles and Radio Rahim. Just weeks ago, Daniel Dubois faced Oleksandr Usyk at Wembley Stadium for their rematch of the undisputed heavyweight title and came up short. Following this, the news broke that he and Don had split. Everyone wants to know why, and the questions will be answered today. Radio Rahim will be sitting down with Don Charles to have an open and unfiltered conversation.
Radio Rahim here with Don Charles at the Pugcast. I mean, first of all, these are not the surroundings that I usually have when I have the pleasure of talking to you. We're either in your living room or we're at the Pug Barn or we're somewhere at a media event where we can't really control the atmosphere. But this is extraordinary. Those who are watching will only see the product, but I am seeing the backstage. And what a setup. We could just take a minute to talk about where we are and what this is that we're looking at.
Yeah, we're basically at a hub in northwest London.
Uh-huh.
And this has been in the works for many, many years, the Pugcast. Mm-hmm. And it's there's no one better than yourself. We've done numerous interviews, like you said, at various locations. It's never been in like a fully bona fide studio. So this is first of the many.
The first thing that struck me when I came in here is you're correct. We've had many years of conversation and friendship and, at all different stages of my career and yours, we've come together. A lot of times just personally, you'll train me for free and I will find my way whatever gym you're at because you're the best trainer I've ever had. And certainly you've talked to me about visions that you have for your own future and things that you want to do. And when Daniel Dubois came into the picture for you, you were so narrowly focused on making sure you got the most out of that relationship and that fighter that you had at that time could be world champion. You said that from the very beginning. You knew it was possible. And the change in you that I saw as far as just kind of focusing all your energy, all your resources on that very specific goal was extraordinary. And this is one of the things that I knew that you had been talking about, but who knew if it would ever materialize because you had so little energy and focus for anything else other than Daniel and the other trainer and the other fighters that were in your custody. Now that the Dubois era for Don Charles is finished, I just wonder if it feels like a relief and an opening up of all these things that have been on the back burner for the past, almost 2 years, or is it still something that you're dealing with today? It's, I know that it's been more than a few days, but emotionally, mentally, where are you at? Are you on the positive, or are you still kind of recovering from all the energy spent dealing with the situation, the loss, and the letting go?
It's a combination of every element you've mentioned there. It's mixed emotions. It's like a roller coaster. It's like a wave. I go through my dark periods where I'm really down, down. And we always ask, why? Again, I always say in previous interviews, I'm a God-fearing man, and I lean towards the universe has all the answers, and time has all the answers. As human beings, we plan. I planned to see the journey through with Daniel, okay, and but God says this is where I get off the train. If this was a train, I didn't plan it this way, but that's my plan. I'm a human being. That's what makes me human, And like I said, I'm still digesting it because of the shock element of when Daniel released me from my duties and the way it was done doesn't sit well with me. I feel betrayed, okay? I'm a guy, anything I go into with a level of trust, a certain level of trust. There was trust there from my side. And I like to believe that the person, it doesn't matter, it could be Daniel Dubois, it could be Derek Chisora, it could be any of the fighters that I work with within my stable. There has to be a certain level of trust to be able to get the best out of each other. I'm a very honest guy. what I tell you today is what I'll tell you tomorrow and day after. And I like to believe that the person I'm dealing with is the same with them. So unfortunately, not everyone's like that. Yeah. So I've gone through every emotion you can think. I'm still hurting. I'm still hurting because it's a sudden thing, you know. Sudden. I didn't expect this, but it's happened, and I'm dealing with it. And this is my character. I go down emotionally. Then when I fix up, I get very strong. So I'm still going through the period of not totally recovered from the sudden shock of being released from my duties. I'm trying to ask myself, what happened? What part of it? We win together, we lose together. That's what's in my head. But unfortunately, it's not like that.
I've known you so long that you're one of the few people in boxing where I have a personal relationship and a professional one. I don't have a professional and personal conflict with most people in boxing because even though I may get on with people, I keep a distance. You and a handful of others, maybe not even a handful, a half a hand, are different. And so every fight that you had with Dubois, unawares to you, obviously, I know your family as well, and George in particular. I would call George, and he and I would have a lunch, either the week of or the week preceding fight week. And I know you don't know this, but to discuss if Pops loses, his father, obviously, how we're going to deal with him emotionally. What is the support that he'll need in place to handle something that could take him into a really dark space. Now, while we're having these conversations, you know, we don't know if the heavyweight championship will be available for Dubois in the Filip Hrgovic fight. After that fight, well, you know, the critics and the like didn't feel like Dubois was truly champion, so he'd have to, you know, win again. And then the Miller fight really wasn't enough. Okay, it's Miller, but he was never world champion. Like, is Daniel Dubois just a placeholder? All these different scenarios was like it didn't feel like it would have been enough for you to accomplish, as you said, what you set out for. And the setback could have possibly been mental health-wise and emotionally devastating. So I'll have to be honest with you, after this fight, I was very concerned about how you were going to be able to handle it, you know? If you're still feeling it now, immediately after the loss, and then everything is a bit up in the air, you don't know what is going to happen, what was your feeling then? When you got back to the locker room, did you feel like you had done all you could do? Did you feel like, hey, Daniel gave his best effort, I put the best camp together, the corner was what we needed it to be, and we were just beaten by a better man? Or did you inside feel like you had fallen short?
Hand on heart, I've done everything humanly possible, myself and my team that I assembled. I don't do this alone. I have a team that has always, the previous fights, the team that aided myself to support Daniel and show him the way to get those victories. It's the same team, and we've been victorious in the back-to-back. That run we put together collectively as a team. It was a good run, and going into this one, like I said, we've done everything humanly possible and more. We went beyond the call of duty to make sure, because there's a chance here to win, become the undisputed Daniel the fighter, then the team, undisputed team. This only happens once in a lifetime, you know. That chance to become great, to be known as one of the greats. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it would be foolish of us not to take every opportunity, grow another pair of arms. I always say to my guys, to be able to make sure you grab it, seize the moment, carpe diem.
You've now famously said that the party was a gathering. Some people get cheeky about that. appears as if it's just a defense of the team. You know that Stan, Daniel's father, is taking a lot of incoming heat on that. You know that there's a lot of criticism about whether or not that should have taken place at all. We know it happened before the Joshua fight. However, when the outcome is poor, we look at everything leading up to that outcome. But really, it seemed like you were kind of stepping in front of a bullet for the team. This was not a party you were at. It's not a party you organized. Not something that you were a part of pre-fight. On the night, if it weren't the preparation for the fight, and in the ring, Daniel was executing what you put the team together to prepare him to do, in the end, where do you see, or what fell short? Is Daniel just not good enough to beat Usyk? Or is there something in the makeup of the relationships in the team, the training, Dubois himself, that made this night not finish with Daniel Dubois being undisputed heavyweight champion?
It's a collective of different elements, yeah. Everybody has to be accountable. Everybody has to look at themselves, from the training personnel, starting with myself. I'm the head coach, and Daniel, the fighter. I said, when you lose, obviously there's post-mortem. Everyone has to be held accountable. I certainly do that. Every time when we win, I do the same exercise. I look at myself, look at why we won, how we won. And in this case, we didn't win. So everybody's under scrutiny. Yeah. Then I start from myself. I look at myself first. Could I have done any more? The answer is no. I've done everything humanly possible to aid my fighter. Then it's up to the fighter to also, when they go away after the loss, to look at themselves. Could I have done more? You know, so I can't answer that question for Daniel. Daniel, you have to ask him for him to answer that. Yeah. Was I happy with his performance that night? I can sit here categorically, yes. Why? Because he was following the game plan. In any examination, you have to score a certain mark to pass. Then after you've achieved the pass mark, then will you be then graded to what percentage you got of in that examination, which will determine to which university you will go to based on the percent what you got in your marks. So on that night, we have to credit the opposition in the name of Oleksandr Usyk. Yeah, he had a lot to do with what he allowed us to do, being the genius fighter that he is, high IQ'd fighter operator that he is. So we scored pretty low. So I have to credit. It's not because Daniel was not attempting to do the game plan, because Usyk had something to do with disrupting our game plan. We had to go and disrupt his game plan. Yeah. So he didn't allow us to do. We scored low meaning we weren't able to get off. If this was a car, a manual car, we weren't allowed. He didn't allow us to come out first gear.
He didn't allow you to come out first gear. It wasn't as if Daniel had no success in the fight.
Absolutely, yeah.
And to your point, you say he was executing the game plan.
Attempting to
execute the game plan. So then, of course, the question, which is put to everybody tirelessly since the fight, was whether or not Daniel quit. We've had that conversation. But moving forward from that singular question, if in fact it's not a quit, or if it is, what's the element that stops Daniel from getting to his feet? The first time in the Usyk fight, you say, he looked to you, you didn't give him the signal, you took that. Again, I see you as stepping in front of these controversies, taking the flak. Sure, I see that as a good trainer. Some might even say, as you've put it in different interviews, a fatherly role. You see that as protecting your fighter, even with the sickness. Doesn't mean it's not true, but it means that you're in fact taking the heat and the criticism that is coming his way. In this case, it appears like Daniel's been hit hard before. He is in firefights. He can take it. He can give it. And in the beginning of this fight, he wasn't able to give it back. He was taking it, and he wasn't able to give it back in kind, the way that keeps him engaged in the fight, right? He got on that knee, and once again, it looked like he was looking off for some kind of instruction. In this case, what was Daniel looking for as to whether or not to get to his feet?
Yeah, when it's pre-rehearsed in the sense that I think most coaches would agree with myself. You ask your fighter, should you find yourself on the floor, look for us, look for the corner. Yeah? And don't just rush up because you might get up too premature. Buy yourself a few more seconds. So he did exactly the same when he went down the first time. He went down twice, right? He went down the first time on his knees, to his knees, and he looked to the corner. He rose. We gave signal, yep, take the count, and then rise. And he rose. And then the second knockout, should I say. Yeah, most fighters would have stayed down from that tremendous punch delivered by Usyk. Yeah, he had no rights to get up from that shot to be counted, Daniel. It was when I've watched it back. Obviously, on the night you get one take on the night. After you then watch it it's a horrible shot to have received. So I have to commend Daniel for the bravery of actually attempting to make the count. Yeah, I'd made my mind up anyway. I threw the towel in. Seconds, literally 2 seconds prior to referee waving it off. Right? So, I have absolutely no problem with regards to him getting up. I'm glad he got up because, he didn't make the count. He didn't beat the count. So, no, absolutely no problem with how the fight finished from my side.
So we've assessed what you contributed, which you're happy with. You can assess what Daniel contributed, what you're happy with. The third element, and it is being debated as to how much influence, how much control the third, or maybe the most significant element, is Stan Dubois. It could be argued that what Daniel was looking for was his father's signal as to whether or not to get up.
Potentially, but my focus is purely on my fighter, Daniel Dubois. I'm not looking left or looking right to see if he's looking to the corner as far as I'm concerned. Okay? So if he's looking at his father, I promote that. A lot of people, they will never understand. They will never understand the dynamics of our setup. You have to be in it to recognize, okay, I'm not saying for one moment the audience, the public, yeah, in what they're assuming based on what they're seeing. But there's more to it. More to it is the dynamics of our setup and the unique relationship Daniel Dubois has with his father. Unless you're in it, then will you start to understand and appreciate and forgive for the assumption that everyone's got about the situation.
The assumption that some are making is that you're a strong trainer. You have a relationship with Daniel that it doesn't appear any other trainer has had a closeness, an ability to get through to the kid, the way they put it. But you do not have a strong card to play with Stan, that he's in control, as if it's a weakness on your side to not be able to put your foot down and say, hey, this is how my camp goes. This is what I do with my fighter. You as the father stand down or stand on the side and let me run this thing.
You're quite right in your questioning. Many have tried that and many have failed miserably. I, the one who recognized, the coach who recognized the minute we started working together, I had the ability and parked my ego to one side to be able to recognize the dynamic, unique relationship. There's a reason why I keep using the word dynamic and unique. Not one I've ever experienced before. I recognized it. I embraced it. I can work with it. It doesn't make me a weak person. No, I'm far from that. I always said to Daniel's father, whenever it kicks off, generally, I am the soldier you need next to you. I recognize the dynamic, unique relationship he has with his son and has always had with his son. People are saying, Daniel Dubois is speaking suddenly. He's winning these fights. There's a reason for all that. Because of my recognition of that relationship he has with his father. I embraced it. That helped me, aided me, and the fighter to get the best out of Daniel Dubois. by allowing that. I should be commended for that. In the future, it will all come out. Okay? That recognition of saying this young man here needs his father with him. They're joint at the hips, if I can use that expression. Mm-hmm. Why would I then come after recognizing that through whatever to be this guy? I'm very authoritative. I'm a very strong physically person. I'm mentally very strong. I have a strong energy. So the way people are looking at it, I don't blame them because that's how it appears. Mm-hmm. But how wrong could they be? Because they don't know or haven't witnessed and seen what I see on a day-to-day basis.
But that commending, that credit and acknowledgement of this relationship that you have made a part of the camp, you haven't resisted the father, you've had success. If it should come from anyone, shouldn't it be Stan? I mean, it's not just not acknowledging that was a recipe for success, mm-hmm. and that you acknowledged his value and included him, but he's essentially said the opposite in that they've let you go as trainer. I mean, if there were ever a moment where that strategy should have paid off, mm-hmm. it's now. So where is it paying off for you? That's what I'm saying. Where is it in this relationship with you and Stan where the respect is coming from him to you?
That's why I said earlier on in this conversation that I feel betrayed. I feel very betrayed because based on the relationship I believe we have, I didn't expect. Nobody's irreplaceable. Nobody's. I'm not saying it's engraved. I must be Daniel Dubois' trainer from now to the end of his career. No, there's no guarantees in life with anything. Yeah, but especially in the fashion that I was dismissed, doesn't sit well with me. I deserve better than that. I'm disappointed, terribly disappointed, of course, because that's not the relationship I thought we'd formulated. I thought we understood each other. I know the conversations I've been having with Stan Dubois, Daniel's father, up to 48 hours before I got my marching orders. So it was a shock to me, okay? And, but again, I have to get my sanity, I have to refer back to my beliefs. My beliefs is this is how God wanted it. As a human being, this is not how I wanted it. But God's got the master plan, being that Daniel's come into my life for a period of 24 months. And what we have achieved collectively, him as a fighter, myself as a coach, in that 24 months will live with me forever. And even at this point of disappointment from my side, I still thank Mr. Dubois Sr. because he brought me as a coach from the wilderness. I was out in the wilderness of boxing as a coach. Mm-hmm. He gave me a chance by bringing his son to me. In the 25 years I've been involved, I've not been, it's not, I've got this attitude of, that I have to be given a fighter from the industry, like I don't take it for granted. So he was the one who brought his son to me. Then what we've done together is incredible. And I will always thank him, Mr. Dubois Sr., and Daniel the fighter, for coming to me. Otherwise, what we'd achieved in this last 24 months, who's to say I might have gone through my, I'm still aspiring to train other world champions going forward. But the opportunity that was given to me, I seized it and made good of it. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So irrespective of how I'm feeling now, I'll get over it. Life goes on. God's got the bigger plan, the master plan.
That is a beautiful way to look at things.
I have
God's
to
plan.
because, well,
all
yeah,
this.
that's my beliefs. I'm going to stick to my beliefs.
But up until 48 hours before you got the sack, it seemed like God might have a different plan. You showed me the text, you showed me the phone calls in our last interview. You were confident that
Correct.
this relationship was stable. Do you believe that something interfered in the relationship or changed his own?
Most definitely.
So what could have put that type of influence on your relationship, severed your connection, and changed Stan's mind, if it is Stan, in fact, and not Daniel himself?
Daniel's not capable of making that decision. I can categorically 1,000%. How about that? Daniel's not capable of making that decision. That was made for him, and he was the one who had to action it, deliver it, because he is the fighter.
Now, when you say capable, do you mean doesn't have the capacity to make it, or he doesn't have the power to make it?
Both.
So then, in fact, we are looking at Stan as the operator who has made this final decision.
No, he's been influenced heavily. Stan Dubois. Okay? Remember in our previous interviews, people think I'm a mad person. I'm not. I'm far from it. Okay? I always refer to as agents. The devil's agents.
But you mean human people?
Well, yeah, but they're agents. But they work for the devil. I've got every right to say that, because that's my take on it. You have God's angels and you have the devil's angels who operate. They look like you and I. They always manage to infiltrate. They don't like anything good. They like to infiltrate anything good and spoil it. Okay? And it's been heavily influenced. Yeah? Hence why, like I said, 48 hours prior to me getting the sack, there was a conversation that was had by myself and Stan that it's not going to be revealed today. Today. Right?
Okay.
So in time.
But wait, that conversation indicated to you that there was going to be
No.
a splitting of the ways?
It solidified our relationship.
The opposite.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I can sit here
Yeah.
and look you in the eyes and say, I didn't see it coming.
But Don, if, heaven and hell, God and the devil aside, then there are human operators who are interfering in this business. Interfering is just a word because you guys were together and now you're not. So something had to interfere in that relationship. So that means that some other relationship had to step in that either Stan trusted more or was influenced by to value over your relationship with him. Whom or how do you think that happened in the span of a night?
I have my reasons. I won't be wrong because it's very obvious. Yeah, it's very obvious. When you let outsiders penetrate you, divide, you conquer, and then you can rule. Yeah? Unfortunately, my brother, I still refer to him as my brother, Stan Dubois, that is. Yeah? Because my brother brought me out of the wilderness, boxing wilderness, and commissioned me to do a job for him and his son. And I did it like I always do. I did it with a good heart. We achieved forever that moment, these 2 years of 2 years that we've been together, it's now terminated. It's with me forever. Yeah. So I love my brother. I love Stan Dubois for giving me that opportunity. Yeah. All I'm saying here is that shouldn't have allowed. This is actually going out direct. You know me. Where's the camera? Yeah. This is going out to Stan Dubois. Brother, you should never. We very often talk about this subject about the devil. You should never let the devil come between us. Unfortunately, they've managed to use their ways to get at you, and then you had to do what you did. But I feel very let down. I feel very sad, and but it will never change what we achieved together, because no one can take that away from us. So, nothing but love for you and your son. And Daniel Dubois, if given the opportunity, will still go on to achieve, to become a double maybe triple world champion. He has that ability. And if it's written for him, then no human being can tamper with it. And whatever's written for me is written for me. I'm going to persevere. I have other fighters that I'm developing. I'm going to persevere. I always give my best to develop more world champions.
Okay. So when this relationship began, and you're crediting Stan with giving you this opportunity, surely he did. And, you know, on my way here, it was occurring to me some of the platitudes and sayings that men have between each other. For instance, when you split with your girlfriend, you know, your best buddy will tell you the way you got her is the way you lose her. If you met a girl who was dating somebody else and then she cheated on that guy to go with you and you got her and then she cheated on you to go with some other guy, well, you know, that's how you got her, is what you can expect.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're the fourth trainer in a line
Correct.
of trainers, some who had success, some who never even got a fight, and some who were fired after a win even. At that time, you've told me that, you know, Stan said to you, well, you know, as long as you're winning, you keep a job.
Yeah.
You lose, you're gone.
That's the mark of the man. He actually told me, literally, maybe 12 months ago, you know, in the gym, we're in the gym working as normal. And he said to me, well done, we won. I think this might have been a Hrgovic fight. Mm-hmm. He said, we won, well done. You better keep winning, because if we lose, I'm moving on. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. He told me, at least the man, that's his pattern. He told me. So it's not something I wasn't aware of.
Right. And in this case, you thought you would evade that fate because of the relationship, what you had built over the course of those three fights.
Correct.
Notwithstanding the original Usyk fight, after which you hadn't yet built this relationship. It was your first fight. You, in fact, lost it. Mm-hmm. Very similar even to the way that this one went ultimately. Was there a time after the first Usyk fight that your job was in jeopardy?
Well, I wasn't aware of that, but I've since become aware of it because apparently there was people that Stan knows who were pleading with him, Spencer Fearing being one of them. Mm-hmm. He said he pleaded with, I wasn't aware of this. He pleaded with Stan. Apparently he was thinking of getting rid of me back then. Mm-hmm. And people persuaded him not to do so, and I wasn't aware of it. And we carried on, and good thing that he listened to them at that time to keep me on, because we went on to achieve an unbelievable run.
Yeah, well, it is too bad, and I think Spencer would say this. You know, he's very delicate about these quotes, so make sure I get it right. I do believe that Spencer has expressed that he believes you should be still training Daniel Dubois. That it is a mistake for Stan to have sacked you this time. Yeah. He said that he thinks it was a mistake, what Stan's done. He also did tell the story that you just told. And the other bit that was controversial about what he said and the way I stated it, which was that you should resign before you got the sack that ultimately did come.
And how right was he? And when he said that, I heard that, and that really angered me, as you know. Mm-hmm. How dare you suggest about me collecting? I don't know. I didn't believe the father reassured me after the loss. He said, "You're not going anywhere. We are together in this. We're going to carry on growing, go on ahead and try and win another world title." I said, yeah, that's the plan, you know. We'd regroup, and like we've done in the past, and you regroup and you move on. But like I said to you, there are those disciples, the agents who come in and promise you the earth. Yeah? Yeah.
But was he right in the sense that
he must have known something?
Well, I mean, okay, just to be clear so that there's no misunderstanding about what this quote means. From him, before we sat here today, and I've spoken to him since you and I last spoke, you know, he wanted to make the distinction between saying that you should quit before you're fired because firing you is imminent, and that's what should happen. He wasn't saying that. He was saying to preserve your integrity, to preserve your dignity, you should quit because he knows that Stan is ultimately going to fire you.
He knows something that I didn't know. And the person whom I'm working from, employed by Daniel Dubois and his father, they reassured me that no, you're not. We're not letting you go. We're good. Let's get up. Let's go again. That was where we were. And but when Spencer said what you just said, that angered me, because how dare you be taking the assumption that I should be collected? So he must to come out and boldly say that there is no fire without smoke, as they say. He must have been told something that they're going to get rid of me.
So while Stan is solidifying your place with him, you're having these conversations, Daniel's calling you in the middle of the night, he's talking out the other side of his mouth, potentially to...
Not Daniel. Daniel.
I'm talking about Stan.
Yeah.
Either to Spencer or to somebody else. If this is a conversation that's being had on the other side, and then meanwhile, this is at the exact same time that you are as certain as you could be that you were going to continue in your role, and then that 48 hours before you got the call, Kieran resigned. Is that to do with this and you and Stan, or is this an entirely separate issue?
I actually tried to reach out to Kieran. I was pretty upset by Kieran. Why did you do that? There's no need to jump. I'm gonna, because I like working with him. He's a good trainer. I liked working with him. What he brought to aid myself, to aid Daniel. So I was asking him to don't do that. Don't resign. Just if we get sacked, listen. Me, it's a word. The sack. It's easy to say I got sacked. Yeah, I got sacked. I got fired. I'd rather be fired than jump a ship. I could have jumped prematurely. Maybe they weren't planning to get rid of me. How about that? Then I jumped. Who have I harmed? Myself, right? So no. You go to the war. You go to war. You go to the end, yeah? If you return alive, everybody's good. Your family's good. If you fight for your cause, you stay in war front. You don't retreat. No surrender. That's my attitude.
That's a very loyal, militant type of perspective, and you're clearly dealing with people.
I live and die with that. No regrets, yeah? No regrets.
Put a button on this. So Kieran, did he in fact jump because he thought the shove was coming next?
He must have heard something to then put out the statement.
Did he not speak to you before putting the statement out?
No, he didn't. And again, I'm disappointed. Kieran, if you're watching, we haven't actually spoken since that time. I've tried to reach out to him. He said he'll call me back, but he never did. So I'm a leader, natural-born leader. I've led many things in the past, small businesses that I've run. I'm good with people management. I'm good with that. So I try and manage everything. But who manages me?
Yeah, and who protects you? Who has your back? Who
my son
after
George.
you. If Kieran is resigning without speaking to you, and Stan is giving you the confidence that the relationship is strong while clearly speaking to somebody else in a different tone, and then ultimately you get fired, at what stage do you feel like you've made a mistake in trusting these people? I mean, you trust your team to at least communicate with you about what they're going to do. If he knows something, Kieran, why wouldn't he share that with you without just resigning himself?
Right. No regrets. No regrets. I can live with myself. Yeah? My conscience. I can live with myself. I can look at myself in the mirror every day, and I like what I see. I like being who I am. I'll never change it. So that's my mindset.
We got to look forward, of course, as the split has taken place, and this relationship with Stan now, whomever got in between, he's now essentially introduced was introduced Sam Jones into the team. Tony Sims is rumored to be the next coach, but he hasn't been announced as such. What do you think is happening with the reconstituting of Dubois' team, and what is Sam Jones brought on to do?
You have to sit that particular character and ask him. I can't answer for him. I can't speak for him. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So that's all there is to it.
It's pure speculation, of course, but we in the community talk, especially us in the media. We can't stop talking. And the relationship between you and Sam Jones, I think, is, publicly, at least in the community, known to not be fantastic. When Sam was brought on, did you see that as an indication that Stan was going to take this team in a different direction?
No, because he called me. He called me whilst Daniel and his father and the family were away in Brazil. Sam Jones, I can say his name now, called me. Bear in mind, I haven't spoken to this guy for about 4.5 years. Was the last time I spoke to Sam Jones, because we fell out over something. I won't go into that. The first time I saw Sam Jones is a day before the fight in Wembley. He walked up to me in reception of the hotel, stuck his hands out to shake my hand to say, "You're a great guy, great coach. Let's let bygones be bygones." And I reluctantly shook his hands. He said, "Good luck tomorrow with the fight with Usyk." So that was that. So a week after the fight, 10 days after the fight, I'm sitting in my house, minding my own business. My phone rang, and it was Sam Jones on FaceTime. Now, to FaceTime somebody, people who FaceTime me, we've got a good relationship going.
Sure.
We're not that buddies where you're going to feel that you can call me on FaceTime. So it appeared. I thought, what's this? So I answered it. He said, "Just to let you know, I've been hired to become Daniel Dubois' manager. Your job is safe. Your job is safe." And I thought, who are you to tell me my job is safe? You're not my employer. And he went on to say, "This conversation is between yourself and myself." Himself and myself. Mm-hmm. And whenever anyone says that to me, I'm a big man. I'm 64 years old. I'm not a little boy. You're not my friend to be able to call me to keep a secret from who I refer to as my brother, as in Stanley Dubois, who was on holiday. I carried it for 48 hours approximately. Yeah, it's about 48 hours, 2 days. It didn't sit well with me. That secret of this man has called me to tell me something and then say, it's between us. I don't like that. What did I do? After 48 hours, I called Stan in Brazil. I said, "How are you?" He said, "I'm good." I said, "Look, this character has called me out the blue and requesting that I keep this conversation between us, that he's coming. Are you sure you know what you're getting yourself into?" He said, "Oh, nothing's going to happen. When I come back, we're going to sit down, all of us, we're going to talk together, we're going to work as a team." Yeah? Mm-hmm. And we left it at that. And that's what accelerated what I believe eventually happened. Yeah.
Do you think at that time everyone was being sincere? Did Sam call you and intend to protect your job? Was Stan speaking
who is it to
truthfully?
protect my job, I ask? Who is it to protect my job?
Well, I guess no one said exactly what his role is, but Sam is he's a great mouthpiece. He's a smart guy. He negotiates well for his fighters.
I don't know about smart.
He gets results for his fighters.
But what kind of results? Great mouthpiece, granted. Talks a lot of rubbish, a lot of waffle, pie in the sky stuff.
Okay, but
remember what he said about Jack Cattrall, Progress, the fighter who was going to fight Cattrall, played it on his phone. What Sam had 2 years prior or something before working with Cattrall. This is the character you're dealing with. Yeah, but we're not here today to talk about him, right?
But he's a part of. I'm just
I've
trying to get
examined
at
everything,
right.
and I believe that's what would have led and rapidly influenced Stanley Dubois, based on the conversation I had with Stanley Dubois when they came back from holiday. Mm-hmm. Like I said, up to 48 hours prior to me getting the sack.
So you think Sam called you disingenuously, called you to say something that wasn't true?
I think he genuinely wanted to prep me. But if you then remember what I said about divide, conquering, and ruling, if I bought his secret, which wouldn't have started, that means he's bought me. I'm not for sale in the sense that, for instance, that I didn't alert Stanley Dubois about that conversation. I would have carried that with me. And there'll be, in the future, there's a working relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Then there will always be secret. There should be no secret. Everything should be transparent. Yeah? Remember, I've been working with this outfit, the Dubois Triple D outfit. How dare you come in to then trying to, first of all, that's not a good starting point with me. I'm an honest guy. There should be no secrets. Mm-hmm. Even if you called me to alert me, by the way, I know we haven't had the best of relationship, but I've been brought into this situation, and I feel privileged. Let's go for it. Well done for everything you've done. Let's together, collectively, let's go. I'm all for that. But what spoiled it for me is when he went up to say, don't tell Daniel's father. I couldn't carry that.
How did you ultimately get the news?
Daniel called me.
What did he say?
He told me, he said, thanks for everything you've done for me, Don, in the last 2 years. But I'm moving on. It's time. I feel I need a change. I said to him, does your dad know about this? He said, no, this is from me. It's from me. It's not from my dad. I said, okay, young man, I'll give your dad a call later. And I did.
Mm-hmm. And Stan said?
Didn't pick up.
Have you spoken to Stan since you spoke to Daniel?
Called twice. Didn't pick up. I called 3 times that day after I spoke to Daniel. Didn't pick up. Next day I called 3 times. Didn't pick up. Then obviously it's true. And that's a cowardly move, in my opinion. Not to pick up. We speak sometimes when things were good. 3, 4 times a day. 5 times a day. I'm always there. Mm-hmm. That's a cowardly move. And it doesn't sit well with me. But I still thank him. And I still love him that he gave me the opportunity to bring his son to me.
Tony Sims not being announced, but thought to be the trainer. I mean, it's a difficult question because obviously the emotion still runs high.
To the best of my ability. I always do.
I still, when you spoke about Daniel just now, that was the height of emotion thus far. So I know that there's still a deep connection there.
Well, most definitely, of course.
So it's difficult to then think about, well, okay, if I'm out, what's best? If you still care about him.
Of course, come on.
So then,
indefinite, a lifetime care, a lifetime love, unconditional love. Because, like I said to you, yeah, what we've achieved in the last 2, I've been at it for 25 years. And first time I inherited a fighter of his caliber. I did a thing on Talk Sport. The first few days it was announced, became public that I'm working with Daniel Dubois, and they called me, Talk Sport. And I said to them, this is the first time I've inherited a ready-made fighter. I said, watch what I can do, watch what I'm going to do with him. And I was right. I knew, because I've never, ever gotten that opportunity to work with a fighter, a ready-made fighter. I just had to recognize the areas that I needed to tweak to put my own influence. Yeah? Not just physically, mentally.
And now someone will inherit
what?
A former world champion.
That's fine. I inherited Daniel Dubois from Shane McGuigan. He'd done tremendous. I used it as I always use this description as a relay. They ran their legs. Martin Bowers ran his leg. Mark Tibbs ran his leg. Handed over to Shane McGuigan, he ran a very good leg. Then gave the baton to me. And I crossed the line. I promised that I would cross the line and win gold. And we did.
Okay.
So whatever happens now, I believe that, like I said to you literally 20 minutes ago, Daniel Dubois, given the opportunity, he will go on to win another world title. He's that good.
I like that analogy, though, because if you cross the finish line, which was to make Daniel Dubois world champion, then, a 4-leg race, that is what relay races tend to be.
Right.
So you're the fourth, you're the anchor, you've done the job. Now, are you passing that baton, or is it a fresh start? Daniel says, he needs a new start, all these things. Is it a new start, or is this, whoever gets him, the continuation of what you've built?
Yeah.
I mean, you'll have no control over that.
Absolutely. It's always been a continuation. Yeah, even now, if, let's assume it is Tony Sims, great coach.
But who should it be? Based on you having the baton in your hand, who do you pass it to if you had the pick?
I'd revisit Shane McGuigan because he didn't break. Shane didn't drop the baton. I'd revisit that.
You say 25 years in the waiting to have an opportunity to build a fighter into a world champion. You inherited a good lot, but you had to take it. And boy, did you have some challenges ahead of you to get that done. Spectacular fashion, knockouts every one. Do you feel like you will ever have another heavyweight champion?
As a human being, as a coach, experienced coach, I have a lot to give. The answer is capital Y, capital E, capital S, exclamation mark. That's my desire, that's my wish. If it's written and if God says I will, now you've done one, I'm going to give you another one and another, then I will embrace it with open arms. That's my wish, that's my desire. If it's written, like I said, if that's God's plan, then no human being can tamper with it.
Outside of your earshot, before Daniel comes along, everybody liked Don Charles, who I spoke to. I mean, everybody. Nobody's liked by everybody, but most people had a kind word to say. He's a great guy. He's, strong man, father, all these things. I would have said the same if anyone had asked me, but they didn't rate you as a world-class global trainer. You hadn't done the big job with Chisora, never crossed that line. You'd never had a world champion like that.
We tried.
And so, since you have now gotten a world champion crown in Dubois, and subsequently your reaction to success, now I'm hearing a lot of people saying, well, he's a damn good trainer. He's a hell of a guy. They should have never fired him. Like, this is a big mistake. But we don't like Don's attitude or Don's egotistical or Don's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, Don's too emotional. Like, and all of a sudden they don't like your personality, but they credit your skills. Has this experience of success up until this point changed you?
It depends on what you mean by changed me. It's opened my eyes. I see clearer now who's who. I've also heard, I've read, I make it my job not to read. People bring it to my attention, then I'll read. People saying I've changed. I've become this arrogant guy. I've always been a very confident person, so please don't mistake the two. I've always been very confident. Maybe this has highlighted my confidence, the recent achievements. Yeah, I'm not an arrogant person. I drive the same car, always have done. I treat people on a daily basis, people who are aspiring to become boxers. I do a lot of work behind the scenes that I don't go broadcasting it or preaching it. It's what I do. So you are allowed, this is the job we're in. When you're at the top, you're going to get fired at. People are going to vent their own frustrations, their own shortcomings. They're going to project it onto somebody who's trying to live their dream. That's all I'm trying to do. live out my dreams. And so I'm this humble guy. I will remain humble, okay? And I also want to take this opportunity, being as you brought it up, but it's been an overwhelming support from the general public to the world media of this incident. Trainers and fighters part every month, every week. I've never known anything like it where people are really, and I'm an emotional guy. I lie in bed at home. Some of the comments I read, I start crying on my own because I didn't know, man, that people see me in that light. Yeah, but time is holds the key. Time holds the answers. I will, unless God takes me, yeah, and judges me. No human being is fit in that way to condemn me, put me down. It fires me up. I'm energized. I feel free. I'm gonna go again. I've got fighters that I'm currently developing. They're all at a very good level, and God willing, they will go, if it's written for them to become world champion in their weight categories, they will.
You say you didn't know people saw you in that light.
No, I didn't.
What are they misunderstanding?
Only them can tell you, these individuals.
But I'm saying when they assess you or speak about you in these ways and you think, well, that's not me, like they misunderstood this or that. Between this journey of losing to Usyk the first time, losing to Usyk the second time, great deal of success in the middle, were there moments that you felt like didn't properly represent you, that people are perceiving something that you wish you had said differently or approached differently? No regrets, but looking back, hey, maybe I could have done this differently. I could have said something else at this time.
No, all I could be is be me. I think the Ghana trip that we went to Africa.
Yes,
yourself,
sir.
It was your first time in Africa.
That's right.
When I look back at it, when people saw me in a different light, when you're a powerful person, and this sentence, again, they might listen to it and say, oh, there you go, there's the arrogancy. It's called confidence. Yeah? I'm on a mission. It became apparent to me that I'm on a mission, God's mission, to empower me with my profession. I didn't know it was boxing was going to aid me on my mission to do good. So it became apparent to me. So I'm an older character. I dress differently. I love fashion. I've always loved fashion. So I think it was a Ghana trip. I've always worn those hats.
Mm-hmm. Well, on the Ghana trip, you wore
my
the
linen,
hat.
I love my linen, right?
Yeah, but
I'm an African. We love dressing up.
Yes,
yeah?
Don.
You remember
yes.
every black
you had
person,
the fedora and the linen suit.
every black person can relate to what I'm going to say next.
Yes.
Traditionally, from my generation, the family, we all dressed up on a Sunday. You wear your best garments and you go to church. Mm-hmm. So I've grown up like that. I've been raised like that. It's my mother's fault. She always color-coded everything I wear up till today. If I stood up, everything is from my hat to my shoes. Everything's color-coded. I've been raised that way. It's not my fault. I've been raised that way. And I love that way. I love presenting myself. I am a natural-born leader. You have to speak a certain way. You have to, how I want to be perceived is what I represent and present myself. Okay?
Yeah, but do you remember why the world got to see you in your Sunday best?
Absolutely.
You were awarded the boxing, British Board of Boxing Controller, the BOC.
Yeah.
Trainer of the Year. Mm-hmm. You had just recently been nominated for Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year. Robert Garcia
I came second.
Yeah,
in the
awarded
world.
that prize, but I think a lot of people in the room would have liked to see you get it. There was, if Robert edged it, it was close. So that having been accomplished, you brought a heavyweight to a world championship. You've also lost to Usyk twice, kind of bookending that relationship. Mm-hmm. And now you've been sacked, not knowing ahead of time that it was coming. How do you expect people to look at you today with both of those
Like I said, it's
equations
been
in tow?
widely documented, and I'm very appreciative. I'm really appreciative of the support that I've gotten, especially in the situation. It helps me to repair, to fix up. So I thank everybody. I really mean it. And the show must go on. And God bless you all. Yeah. And we gotta sign out.
Okay, we have to look forward. And you're talking about you have other fighters. You expect to be a trainer of a world champion again. I watched the gym progress. When you first got down here, we were at the Pug Yard, and it's a kind of a public gym. You had to shut it down so that Daniel could train, and then you're finding a better home, and you're making. Are you going to make that facility better? Are you going to move Daniel someplace better? And you found the Pug Barn, which is fantastic, which you had to build from sand on the ground and nothing in that place to train a fighter. You built that up, and then from that fight, it got better, and then there's all kind of extra technical stuff in there. You got an ice bath and an oxygen tank, and now it's a state-of-the-art facility. And you've had a world champion. And what can a fighter who comes to Don Charles now, who becomes a part of the Pug family, expect? And how much have you improved on this journey, or how much, and this is what I ask, have you changed from the guy who brought Dubois into the ring against Usyk the first time and the guy who walked him out on the second time?
Yeah, I've learned a lot, and I've introduced a lot, like you quite rightly said. I have a fantastic infrastructure. If I was an active current fighter, heavyweights preferably, I'd be knocking on Don Charles's door, because the infrastructure I have is world-class facilities to facilitate and accommodate any fighter. And God is great, because I've come so far, and I don't plan on why should I've got 5 fighters currently they're all at very good level, and the future is very bright for all of them. And if it's written for them to go and achieve with myself, no human being can tamper with it.
Daniel Dubois put out a written statement. He got on the phone with TalkSport for a brief interview. The last time you spoke to him, whether they be his words or not, they came from him. What is your statement to Daniel? If you don't have an opportunity to speak to him directly again, this might be it.
Yeah, just to say, I said it earlier, I touched on it earlier on, and young Daniel, I thank you, I love you, and forever in history, in the history books, it will be written on such and such a day, you and Uncle, me, we went to Wembley Stadium with our team, and we won a fight that 97% of the population said we couldn't do it. And not only did you do it, the way you did it, that will live with me indefinitely till I check out from this planet. So I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. So, love.
Don, it was 2 years ago on the day that you walked Daniel Dubois into the ring in Poland against Oleksandr Usyk. Today you have the best gym I've ever seen, built from the ground up in an exclusive area, an atmosphere that will have you feeling like you're on your own island, almost right there in the middle of London. You have a world champion banner in your gym. You have, I believe, the support of most, if not all, the critics and fans alike about the job you've done with Daniel, notwithstanding the loss to Usyk. I don't think, and this is me speaking, that Daniel wins that fight, no matter who's in his corner on that night. Usyk was simply the better man, the better fighter, the more skilled and prepared fighter. You, sir, are really one of my favorite people in boxing. I appreciate you sitting with me, having this very candid conversation, being willing to answer some tough questions and elaborate on some difficult topics. Moreover, you are correct. Anybody who decides to step in as your friend or as your fighter will be a better man for it. Certainly I am for your friendship. Thank you again for the time. Radio Rahim with Don Charles on the podcast. You will see us again. You will see this man again, I'm certain, in the corner of world champions. Irrespective of the weight, this is a heavy, heavy trainer. Thank you, Don.
A huge thank you to our very own Don Charles for his openness and honesty, and to Radio Rahim for bringing the questions to him. Last but not least, thank you all for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We'll be back very soon.